Does creating the life I love mean I have to love my work? I'm like really excited to answer this question, to be very honest with you, because I feel like as moms, we've been sold a bill of goods when it comes to our work. So I'm just going to be full on rebel mom today. I should have had one of my kids draw a tattoo on here that says rebel mom, something. So, in a previous show, I tried to debunk the cultural idea of chasing your dreams as too narrow. And of course, I will leave that show in the links below. And embracing motherhood as a dream worthy of pursuit. So honestly, like looking back at these posts, I don't feel like they do the topic justice. I did pull them into the book that I am working on. And through this discovery process of writing and actually having the space to write more words, like you don't want a 4,000 word blog post, you really don't. But a 4,000 word chapter or more, like that works. So I'm realizing as I'm going through this process that the more deeply a topic is felt, the harder it is to write. So, as I'm really struggling to put these deep feelings, because I do feel very deeply about this topic. So, as I'm struggling to put them into words, like I want to revisit the idea now of chasing your dreams or passion for just a moment. And again, I've written the chapter already in my book, and so I feel like I've done greater justice to these topics. And like it was really satisfying, maybe cathartic to get it all out. So the idea of creating the life you love is rooted in these same cultural ideas of passion and chasing your dreams. And frankly, they are just too narrow. Okay, so let's talk about it. I want to tell you a story. So, my oldest son sits at his desk working away on his high school work. Suddenly, he stops and turns to me. Is this true? He asks. If I find what I love, I will never work a day in my life. I cringed when he asked me. Let me be straightforward with you. I really hate this statement. It sounds nice. It is a promise we all want fulfilled in our lives. It is safe to say we all dread working a job that we hate. And yes, my fellow moms, I have worked jobs I hated, and it is not something I recommend. We envision ourselves being stuck in the everyday grind with no hope of getting out, and that light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train. So you kind of start to picture like a really bad scene from a 1950s movie where everyone is like in this big office pool and it's like there's no life in them except they're all just doing the same motions and typing. So that's what I always picture. So the problem with these ideas of passion, so we're going back to the ideas of passion and why it's a problem, is that we silo it into meaning one thing. And it means love the job that you do. You have to be passionate about your work. The job you work should come with an euphoric high of passion. Passion is the foundation for all of your motivation. If you don't have it, then you won't follow through in the hard times. You will give up if you aren't sufficiently motivated by passion for what you do. Or so they say. So we've established that we don't want to work in a job that we hate. Like there's no fulfillment or satisfaction in that. But so is the opposite then to work in a job that we're passionate about and that we love? Is there some in between? Because these sound nice. The problem is they aren't true. And it sets a standard that is unreachable for many people. It is possible to like what you do without being passionate about it. Okay, we're going to say that again. We're going to get some coffee first. Okay, we've had our coffee. So I'm going to say it again. It is possible to like what you do without being passionate about it. You may even just like the people or work environment that you are in without actually being passionate about your job. So I'm going to tell you a story, and it's not in my blog post. So for my podcast listeners and my YouTube watchers, you're getting a bonus. At one point, I did a certain job, and I'm not going to go into details, but of what that job was, but I despised it. I went home almost every night crying and praying that God would deliver me. I really despised it. So years later, in my virtual assistant business, I was asked to do the same type of job, and I hesitated because I'm like, I hated it. Like, I really did. But you know what I realized? Because I said yes, because, we're virtual assistants, we're business owners. We just say yes to everything and we'll figure it out. So I said yes. And what I discovered was like, you know what? I actually don't mind doing the actual work. I actually enjoy doing this job because I'm by myself. So it was the environment that I was in that I actually despised, not the work. So sometimes if you're in a healthy work environment, you may enjoy that more than your actual job. And if we're honest with ourselves, if people really enjoy the work environment and the people they work with, there's a lot about the job, the actual work itself, that you will endure. You may be passionate about a specific job, but trust me, if you are in a toxic work environment, you will hate it. So my passion and my driving force is to be the best mom to my kids. This is my number one dream I am chasing. And you know what? That's going to change at some point. But for now, my youngest is 2. That is that is my vision for the next 20 years or so, maybe a little less, 18 years or so. And that is a good thing. So my career and how I make money is what gives me the resources I need to be chasing that dream.